Hello, everyone. We're here with Lena Rodriguez and Dave. You were showing you our masks, which you guys helped us to design. Aren't they fabulous? Now, we don't need the masks because there are no cases of COVID at all in Australia, right?
As we speak.
As we speak.
It's a good day,
Yeah.
but we have got a lid on it.
No restrictions, nothing. So these are the possibilities. Couple of things to tell you about this election. We are curious. Hi, Teresa. Hi, Mimi.
Oh,
Hi,
it's
Ronnie.
working.
Oh, it's working.
How fully exciting.
What do you know, right?
And here we are, everyone.
At
Bondi Beach.
Isn't
And
that
we're
great?
not even being sponsored by the Australian Board of Tourism.
Exactly.
We miss a niche.
Seriously, we should have asked for some contributions from them
I know.
for the winter party. Okay, we're certainly have high hopes today.
Look at all these
Oh wow,
people.
Lily's arrived. Hi, you guys.
Love you.
ya.
Mwah.
Hi. So we're interested in a couple things, but first, Lena, tell him one thing that's a little bit of a warning. You were talking about the people.
I've forgotten already,
Have you
Dave.
forgotten?
I've only had one coffee. What
That's
was
the
it?
problem. We're just talking about how tonight it
Yeah.
might seem.
Yeah, and we've got to all be prepared.
Be prepared.
And don't worry what the exit polls are particularly doing or saying, because the way it works, the Republicans have been freaked out by absentee ballots, so there might be an artificial dawn for the evil Yeti.
Yes.
But let's hope it doesn't even come to that
That's
sort of
right.
confusion.
But don't be confused tonight because there are going to be most of the Democrat votes are mail-in, so they won't be counted for some time. So if you said today, we're definitely, I should say, if Biden said today, we're definitely doing great, but it might not be the case. So, don't get too, obviously we want it to be a big lead so that we can avoid a lot of political, social problems later on. We're curious to know, you guys, if you're out there,
Yeah.
type us and tell us what was your, in a short note, what was your voting like? I'll just tell you, I finally got my vote. I hope I got my vote through. It was a month-long procedure. Everything went wrong. I never got a ballot. I actually had a problem where I went and tried to find my vote, and I got up with somebody else's records.
A woman in Germany.
A woman in
an
Germany.
American woman in Germany.
After putting in my social security number. So I could have just edited her information if I had wanted to. It was really a mess. And I'm going to try to contact people in Los Angeles where I am registered to vote. Because of it, it was a mess. It was an absolute mess.
And I think this is part of the bigger picture and the bigger problem for America is these random sort of rules and regulations. It's not a national election at all. It's 50 states having a practice, It's just crazy. And I think maybe there needs to be.
That's really a relief. Again, just because I'm voting from abroad, it's been really a pain. I got my California voting packet. It's ridiculous. It's like, I'm going to use it to wash my windows, right? Didn't know you would actually be together. We are. Yeah, here we are. So again, you guys, until a month ago, we
really strict.
Yeah.
And so Dave's flown in, and this is
How
the
nice
view
it
he's
is.
got from his Airbnb.
Look how nice it is. I'll tell you, man. The minute we could get some new environment, and you can't really top Bondi, you guys. You really can't top
It is gorgeous, isn't it?
New South Wales. It's beautiful.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
So on the other side of COVID and everything else, come and have a look at Australia. So hopefully you can hear us okay because we've got rolling surf in the background.
Yeah, let us know if we need to speak a little bit louder. The children might be in the balcony next door. I tend to play with them, so I might get a little
Here's
distracted.
someone who waited in line for 4 hours.
Okay, where was she?
It's come and gone. There's so many people on the live stream. This is such a
I think
thrill.
I can go back and see. Let's see. Fence
Flores,
around the White House.
Michelle.
Yeah.
That was New York City.
Okay. 4 hours.
And I've heard
wow.
North Carolina has to keep its polling stations open an additional 4 hours because of technical glitches.
Yeah, good. So it looks like we might be having some problems buffering. Do our best on that one. I don't know what else we can do. I'll tell you one thing about Australia. It doesn't always have the greatest internet.
Yeah,
there are some things that are not the best here. Very few. Okay. Blue wave, seeing lots of blue wave images, lots of hearts. Hi, May. Thanks for the hearts.
New Hampshire,
New
hi.
Hampshire, hi. You guys, it's great to see everybody from everywhere.
And Michigan, Texas.
Yes.
Go, guys.
just to tell you guys from Michigan, I used to spend my summers on Lake Michigan. It was just a beautiful experience. Never been to Texas. It's on my list. So what?
Well, I was last in Texas
Really?
in 1976 or something. I know. You know, and it was a scary thing on a Saturday night. Let me tell you. But I think the demographics changed in Texas. It's younger. You've got lots more blue people have moved in. You've got university towns. You've got high tech Houston. Austin's rocking. So Texas is really different.
So somebody said hi, Whimsy, which is just making me think that maybe Whimsy's on here, right?
Hi, Whimsy, if you're
yeah.
there.
Hi, San Diego.
Oh, and a big shout out to Cash Peters.
Hi, Cash. Is he here?
It's
Did you see
probably
him?
2 a.m. or something hideous in the UK, so we might catch up with you in a few hours. But
Yeah.
a big hello.
Hi. Is Cash on here?
He was going to be watching.
Oh, good for him. Wow.
He mustn't
Cash.
need sleep.
What a compliment.
He's really a
that we have.
cyborg.
He's really a cyborg. So tell me, what Senate races are you looking at the most?
Well, it's so hard. My mind's gone a bit blank, actually.
Yeah.
We've been so saturated in this
Yeah.
stuff
Yeah,
for so many years
it's just,
that it's just beyond the beyond.
yeah.
Lindsay's probably going to be running around for the last week at midnight giving people cash in their mailboxes or something. He
Right,
might squeak
Right. I
over
think
the
he's
line.
going to
But,
squeak over.
oh, but wouldn't it be the best if McConnell was gone?
Wouldn't
Wouldn't that
Yeah.
be bliss?
yeah.
You know, so there's certain ones that are
Mhm.
symbolic over and above being a number.
Well, it's not just that. It's that, not only do we got to, beat Trump this year, we got to beat him by a lot of points to avoid violence.
It's our darling Cash.
Hi.
Cash.
Hi, Cash. How are you? Arizona. Let's see. Looking for McGrath and all that
Oh,
stuff.
my hair looks good. You'll be pleased to know, intrepid viewers, I managed to get to a hairdresser yesterday. And
It doesn't matter.
in Melbourne, my hairdresser, as many of you know, is Betty from Baghdad. But I'm living out of a suitcase in Sydney, so it's now Sasha from Ukraine. Bless her. She managed to make me look less of a haggard bag.
Come on.
Love her. Very skilled woman.
Okay.
Thank
Well,
you.
let me tell you, being a man getting a haircut here is a little bit challenging.
How come?
It's the really funniest thing. I'll tell you. They never charge you what they say. So it's
Oh.
always an option. Like you'll go and it'll say $30,
Oh.
and afterwards they'll charge you $35.
Right, and
It's
have a glass of
incredible.
water, $8.
Right,
If you want
exactly.
me to brush it
Yeah,
when
they're
I'm
like-
finished, $20.
And,
Yeah.
and they won't even pull the, but I trimmed your mustache. That's why. Nope. That's just. One time I went in and they said, "Oh, those guys charge $30, but I charge $35."
Okay.
After the haircut, you let me know. Which, of course, I should have gotten. I did not get my chance to get my haircut. So hopefully the gray is in the back. You guys
Yeah,
won't
and
see
because
it.
we're half in silhouette, you won't
That's
see the
perfect.
fine
Well,
print.
this was not accidental.
Right. So here we are. It's whatever it is, about 6:15 Eastern Standard Time or something. So we're here for a good few hours. Hopefully we'll get a good flavour of what's going on
Mm.
here today. So the electoral votes, Cash and Whimsy.
Hi guys, thanks for watching. It's always a compliment when you guys watch.
Yeah, absolutely. Utmost
Oh,
respect.
somebody got a troll alert. I always forget you guys how to get rid of the trolls. Let's see.
Oh, they might just disappear.
Oh, they'll
after a
probably
while.
just disappear. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I don't see any trolls. You guys, if there is something, just let us know.
And
All right,
any
Cash.
trolls, look, please, you don't want to live up in eternal purgatory because
Right.
you've sabotaged our live stream. No, no, no,
Right.
no. You don't
Right.
want that.
Uh-huh. Let's see.
Arizona,
That's
Pennsylvania,
Okay.
and Ohio are the 2 states that Biden really needs to secure.
Right.
He needs to, these are the notes I made last night. He needs to make ground back in the Rust Belt because, of course, the Yeti has failed to bring back steel and failed
Right.
to bring back
Right.
coal and just failed in every way, capital F, really. And he needs to break ground in the Sun Belt. But there's been huge registration, Dave, of
Mhm.
young Hispanic voters in Florida and Texas,
Mhm.
and that can really make a difference.
Yeah, it seems like it's neck
really
and neck.
important.
in Florida, there are some Floridians, specifically Hispanic males, that do support him, like 55-45, which is sort of a surprise. But that is only the males. I don't think that's necessarily, it's not women, it's not younger people, perhaps.
Yeah.
I don't know. But it's kind of surprising considering how Trump has treated Hispanic people that they,
That
males will still
anybody would
support
vote for
him. But,
Why is this even close?
why is it even close?
How crazy is crazy? Look. Yeah, look, all these emojis.
Gosh,
how
guys,
stunning.
hi. Good. I think I saw Celtic Warrior on here too.
The beach background, yeah.
Yes. Celtic Sheila.
Because we figured we'd be boring to look at for hours now, so here we go. And if you go
good for you, Veronica.
straight out there, you eventually wind up, I think, in San Francisco. It is the Pacific.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
something
you're
to
right.
think about.
So if you keep going, there's California out there someplace. California, Washington, Oregon. Yeah, well, this particular election, it's not so much about any kind of issues. It's surprising that people don't even necessarily, worry so much about COVID in some of these places. It's really about personalities and the social identification that people have with candidates. So, women are preferring Biden all across the board because he's a more sympathetic, more organic, more, multicultural sort of experience. Trump is just super top-down authority. And I think that whatever race you are, there are some people who identify with that, even just by gender, some people identify with that.
Sure. But also, look, Biden doesn't have to do much except to just be this calming influence.
Right.
He's got this fantastic team behind him.
Yeah.
And the fantasy team would be, put Bernie in charge of healthcare and put Elizabeth Warren, Labor Secretary, go Liz. And bring back the possibility for social mobility for working class Americans. The working poor, and now you're going to have the phenomenon of the working homeless everywhere. I'm not just pointing fingers at the US here. Everywhere struggling. So it's really important to bring back the demos.
Right.
See, I'm fluent in Greek as well as French. Bring back people into democracy.
Yeah, good. Well, I got to say, it really is just a cultural moment, I think, in the United States and the world of where this is going to shift. So we got one
We've
call.
got CNN here who have Dems 35 and Republicans 30 somewhere. While Dave's talking, I'll work out where they're talking about.
Yeah, I mean, think of the just a huge cultural shift that all of us are experiencing. And, while it is really stressful, I really encourage people to think about the positives. Lena and I would not be friends if it weren't for Donald Trump. So we can give him credit for that. The crisis has brought us together here in Sydney. So this view, one could say, is a result of him. I also really got to point out that, the Trumpian ideas have been around for a while, that they're not new.
He's only the recent ugly face of this
obvious
move to the right everywhere, this populist thing. People love simplicity. I grew up in a redneck state in Australia, and we had a dictator, basically, an authoritarian called P.L.P. Peterson. And the worse he was, the more inarticulate, the more outrageous. People loved him.
And why do you think that was?
Well, people like simplicity in the sense their worlds are vulnerable, so they want complicated long-term explanations and solutions. So this allows a lot of bad actors into the arena.
Yeah. Did you have a legal system that slowed him down?
No, it abetted him. We had the equivalent of bar. Yeah.
Just like the same experience.
Yeah. And I recognized it when I went to Texas in 1976, as I just said, viewers. There it was, live. Queensland, Texas, could barely tell them apart.
Really? Wow. That's fascinating.
Yeah.
Well, having grown up in California, I can tell you things did shift. Things really did shift. Reagan, of course, was Californian. He truly changed the state. I frankly will never forgive him. Being from San Francisco, there were homeless people everywhere. People try to blame Pelosi for that, but that really occurred under Reagan's governorship.
Yeah.
He just opened the doors to the asylums, essentially, where mentally ill people lived, and shoved them out into the streets. And of course, they don't live in They don't live near mansions in Santa Barbara. They live in the streets of San Francisco where people lived. And having lived here for a while, I can tell you, you might argue this, but I just don't see homeless people. Yeah, there's 5. It's not like,
Well, I
they're
think
blocking your
we've got to be
doorway.
careful with homelessness because I think a lot of it's hidden,
Yeah.
right? So
Yeah.
people mightn't have somewhere to live, but they can stay on their sister's couch. They're
Right.
still actually homeless. Can't change that.
Mhm.
And so it's only if you've got some family
Mhm.
support or something else.
Mhm.
So you've still got kids growing up in cars
Mhm.
here because it's a hidden thing everywhere.
Mhm. Mhm.
And so we have to get affordable housing.
Right. But we are already talking about a party of delusion. I was reading today, your newspapers are being really conservative this time around since they all thought Clinton would win, or at least they presumed Clinton would win. I don't think we should say they thought. They presumed that statistically, she looked like she was going to win. Everybody's being real conservative, and they're reporting about these people who voted for Trump. And they say the craziest things like, I don't want another lockdown. Or, as if Biden were responsible for the lockdown,
Exactly. And people in lots of countries are going, oh, don't want the lockdown. But haven't they noticed the Olympics have been cancelled?
So, right.
The whole world has
Lockdown.
stopped, right?
Mhm.
The UK is about to go into a month-long, serious, complete, across-the-board lockdown.
Germany's looking bad.
France,
Yeah.
Italy, the whole of Europe is suffering because no one can travel anywhere. It's not just Delaware and it's not just London.
The numbers are increasing in the United States, especially in the swing states, Midwest, places that are conservative and traditionally rural and Republican. The numbers are spiking. I have to tell you, I have friends in places like Minnesota, and they, I can say hello to them. Maybe I shouldn't say their names if they didn't give permission. You know who you are. I have friends there, and they said, look, we're terrified to leave the house. Nobody's wearing a mask. We're right next to North Dakota. And it's pretty terrifying for them. They're afraid to go out. They're fortunate enough so that they can stay in most of the time. But my friend was telling me she rarely gets out of her pajamas. There's no reason to do so.
And one of the comments, Florida is a cesspool of COVID.
Yeah, it
exactly.
Sure
the
is.
states that ignored it most are paying a dreadful price now.
Yeah. We'll look at
that I saw was for this over here without sound, and not a lot's going on. If any of you are watching it too, I've got this very boring, unfilled map of the United States with 0, 0.
Now, what do you mean when you said 35-30? Is that what numbers do those mean?
I guess they're projected numbers at this point.
Okay. For how many?
Here we go. Senate at this hour.
Okay. Right. So I guess that's 35. 35 Dems look like they're going to win and 30 Republicans. Okay. That's what it looks like. And it's looking pretty good for us. Yeah. Looking pretty good. So let's see. She's having a free day. She deserves it. It's hard to see the numbers. I get 55 again. Yeah, I get 55. That's how successful the Senate will become. I'm also kind of getting this feeling, Trump, crazy as he is, he does have that charisma that attracts people. None of the senators have that. So when you're coming to the Senate, it really is going to be a little bit more about what have they done for you. And if you live in a, everything's having problems, then I think that people aren't going to, DeSantis does not have some kind of charismatic message for anyone. So I don't think it's going to be as good for these senators. I get 55, maybe 54. But that's enough, especially if Biden and Harris are there, because Harris can cast that 55th vote if needed. There's a tiebreaker.
Yes.
I get pretty good numbers for that. Anybody you thinking of specifically?
Let's go for Moscow Mitch.
Moscow.
Sorry.
Yeah, Moscow Mitch. He's going to win. There's no getting rid of him now.
He's just.
And in a way, again, not as bad as you think, because he's going to go have to, scandal after scandal after scandal is going to be uncovered in the next Congress. And I think this time around they're going to get serious about punishing them.
Stay for all of us, I think, is we all have to hold our politicians more accountable.
Yeah.
They can't just swan in and then retire after however long on these massive pensions and do nothing.
Yeah, great. So, just reading your comments here. Moscow Mitch has to go. He sure does. I wonder if he can legally be removed. We'll find out. Yeah, I think this is okay. Yeah, sometimes they won't let us show. They won't let you show some of that. Yeah, so I don't know why they block some things like feathers singing. It's like about the wall they built around the White House, the fence. I'm sorry, but that's pretty obvious to me. It's pretty obvious that he's just going to hole up in there and let him drag him out.
Okay, we have Florida early vote. Oh, I just missed that. Just hang on a second there. A slight edge to the Dems. Very slight, 1 or 2 points so far
that's
in
good
Florida.
News. That's good news.
Oh, wow. Here we go. Great.
Yeah, because Florida's going to be one of those places that doesn't start to count the mail-ins until they vote. So that's the people showing up numbers, which is good for us.
That's good. And seniors will be important in Florida because the seniors pushed Trump in and hopefully they're now going to push him out. Because it wasn't a particularly good look a few months ago, was it, when they were saying, oh, well, if old people die, it doesn't matter. That is grossly offensive.
Yeah, good.
Particularly if one isn't 22 anymore oneself,
Who was to make her? I'm going to have you be the moderary,
Sheila.
Oh,
yes, please. Thank you.
We love
for
you,
that.
Sheila. That's really awesome of you. Okay,
massively fabulous.
So, Sheila, you just go crazy there. You're not pretending to be Sheila, are you? Sorry if it's not buffering great. Our connection's a little bit unstable. We might try to, and we will try to talk a little bit loud. We wound up being outside.
Silhouettes there inside, so we might move in a while. But
unfortunately, it's a good thing we talk extremely loudly.
No, it's me.
Great. Which races are really most interesting to you in this second?
Look, everywhere. I think absolutely
There's
everywhere
is
important. Nowhere you can take for granted, and there's nowhere that isn't important.
And it's the Midwestern states. And it's interesting. That's what I'm seeing right now. It's the Midwestern states that are going to flip for Biden. And that's the key. It's almost this was the wall that Trump broke through this last time around. But these Midwest, Wisconsin, Biden is way ahead there. I get that those are the states that are going to flip and really make the difference in this election. Because it's not just going to be a few states, it's going to be several. It's those upper states. That's what I'm seeing. They're going from red to blue. I wonder if that includes Michigan. I'm not sure about Michigan. Michigan looks like it might be Michigan too. Michigan looks like a big maybe. But certainly other states right around there are looking really blue.
Come on, Michigan, don't let us down.
Don't let us down.
Is Michigan the Wolverine state? Who's the Wolverine state, if someone could let us know?
I think that is Michigan.
I don't know where that obscure fact came from. And it might not be a fact. It might be an alternative fact.
Now, what do you know what you call a person? A Michigander.
A Michigander.
Believe it or not.
Oh, bless.
This is just so funny. Okay, let's see. So, let's see. Johnson. Okay.
I think, oddly enough, Alaska's going to be interesting because I think Alaska's really split between, pro-mining and work and jobs, and those who want to keep it more pristine. And all those hideous things that the Yeti has done, rolling back all the government regulations that Obama put in.
So, Aries Girl says yes, Wolverine State. And somebody asked about Indiana.
Oh, yeah.
I don't think Indiana's going to go blue.
No.
I think Indiana's going to stay red. Indiana's going this really oddly conservative.
The unpronounceable but gorgeous young thing.
Yes, yeah, they did do that. Yeah.
So give it another 4 years. I think there's going to be a lot of these super close races. And in 4 years, it's going to be a different story across the country. I think people are going to wake up. And another thing, viewers, let me have a little whinge here. I read yesterday over $80 billion has been spent on election campaigning. 80 billion. How many teachers and nurses
To be
can you get
higher.
for $80
Yeah.
billion dollars?
Yeah.
So if I ran the world, but also that whole idea, put a cap on it, $1 million per state, 50
Yeah.
million, that's it, end of game. If you can't make your point,
Yeah, that's
so be it.
bad.
You know, you
Yeah.
have to do debates and town
Yeah.
halls and
Yeah.
get out there some other way.
Well,
$80 billion.
it's really Citizens United. Without Citizens United, Trump would not have won. So that was a complete Supreme Court. Let's see. I voted for Joe Biden. Oh, good for you, JD. JD is showing that her parents are Republicans. It's funny what gets blocked here. I mean, I don't know why that statement is going to be blocked, but it sure is.
It might be a
Somebody says
moderator.
good day. No, I don't think that is, because she would know.
No, I mean
Sheila
doing
would
the
know.
right thing,
Okay.
trying to block a patrol.
Somebody used a bad word, so that's what they blocked them. They said
Oh.
hell. Let's see. Good, you guys. Somebody said they were working. Biden was working really hard. Aloha, Colleen. How are you? Great. I know just which Colleen that is because I remember talking to you. Let's see. 80 billion. You know, why do we have this system at all? It shouldn't be that any business gets to donate to a political candidate. Every individual could donate money, and that's that. You know, a business is not a person, and why should they get an extra vote in our society? But that's a huge issue we're hoping Biden will face. The good thing I think about the situation, I think that when Biden wins, and I'm fairly certain he's going to win, that there will be real change. You know, the Democrats have been pretty wimpy.
There has to be. And lobbying, and I'm talking about Australia, UK, and everywhere too. Lobbying used to be, I'm a big business person, I give you $1 million so I can have a meeting with you and talk to you and persuade you. No, now it means here's the money, I want the vote. It's not, it's something, but it's not lobbying anymore. You know, it's purchase power. It's actually buying votes. And, you know, it's third world, it's failed state stuff, not good enough. So the game has to lift everywhere.
Well, and we're, I'm extremely worried about what happens after the election. I will have a lame duck Trump. We don't know what he's going to do, and a lot of angry supporters, and we don't know what they're going to do either. It really is going to be very fraught. There's no motivation to solve some of the economic problems that are going to face us after the election. We can't really count on the Republican Congress to do anything for us. They put out these people in the Supreme Court who could undermine laws that, equality laws that we all believe in. So it will be quite a time. This is just the first step, everybody. But again, notice the communities that are being created. There are good points here. Notice the motivation that people have had to vote. More people have voted in this election. Oh,
wow. The turnout has been sensational.
Incredible.
Almost like a working democracy.
Remember also that it's the future that's important. It's really important that young people got out and voted this time around. These are going to be people that solve our problems. I just don't believe that our generation and older are going to solve the environmental problems. They're just not ready to do that. But people, who are younger, they will be the ones that will really be facing.
Well, it's their world, isn't it?
World.
They've got to fight for their world, you know. And previous generations have got rich by not being responsible and going for the shortest line between 2 points.
And don't misunderstand what I say. I often talk to people, 50 and older, and they're thinking, I'm having this religious conversion, but I'm 65. What good? Absolutely not. I don't care how old you are.
Yeah.
You are having a religious conversion, a spiritual conversion right now. People are going out into the community. They're doing really cool. I talk to lots of people every day when I'm teaching them. Really awesome things that they are doing. You may never know that these people are working there behind the scenes, working in, prisons and schools and helping the elderly, and they all think that they're not important, or maybe not important, and it's absolutely not the case.
Yeah, and I think we've got to revisit who are important workers in our society, and service workers are important, and carers are important. And when I was teaching health sociology, in Australia here, there was a wonderful little video I used to show my students called The Hidden Army. And these are kids who are holding families together and they're caring for a chronically ill parent or parents. And these kids get nothing. They're 11 and 12. They're too young to get a carer's pension or anything. They're the invisible army. And don't tell me it's not the same everywhere. You know, these kids are amazing, and we're very quick to say, oh, kids are lazy, kids never get off their phones. And there's other kids who aren't having a childhood, and they don't get supported. They don't get sanctioned. They need financial support and also extra school support. That's another thing I wanted to bring up about homeschooling. Every nightmare is worse than the last. But look, it's all very well for middle-class kids who have a curriculum, but if you come from a disadvantaged family, how are you coping in COVID with online learning? And I think there's an army of retired teachers out there, and I would encourage any of you in that category, please volunteer in your community to say, okay, I'm prepared to give, say, 6 hours a week for the 2 weakest kids in your class or something. I can work with those kids for you. Something like that. There would be millions of retired teachers, and I think that then would be of real value to those actually up to speed or better than they can.
Well, I also think that we should all go out and rally. Hopefully there will be some cure to the virus by next summer, and we should really rally to get all kids into summer camp, which teaches them something. They've already missed a lot of education. And frankly, this is the thing. I used to be a teacher. It's also, they're just sitting around all the time. They're not getting any physical exercise. How much is this costing our society that people smoke and they're overweight and they do really unhealthy things? If we could nearly get people back into good health, that would save a lot of money in our society. But, even when this is over, we're going to really have to keep pushing and pushing and pushing.
Yeah, 4-year project. I really feel strongly it's a 4-year project. And so my prediction as a commentator, not as a tarot reader necessarily, is that the Dems will be spending the next 4 years, first of all, on a major apology tour to the world, followed by trying to undo the gross excesses of the Yeti and the GOP. But after that, sort of just trying to keep things ticking over. But it really, I think in 4 years, you'll have Beto O'Rourke, you'll have the good judges, you'll have these AOC, you'll have these ones coming on stream. And I think it'll be a more radical, interesting, compassionate country 4 years from now.
And can I just say, go Sheila, looking for the trolls for us. Sheila, you're a miracle. Thanks so much for showing up and doing this. This is really, really
thank
awesome
you so
for you.
much.
Right. Well, the other thing, of course, I'd like to, it looks pretty peaceful out there. I'm glad to see that. If you did experience something at the poll or any sort of intimidation, let us know. We'll take a look.
But also
at that.
the good news stories, how people were relating to each other. That's really important.
What did you feel like when you were standing in line there? Did you feel like it was a momentous moment? I feel like that was. I mean, a few people that they interviewed in line.
Quebec. Hello.
So she was found a troll. Thank you, Sheila. Yes, she was awesome. That's true. Let's see. You guys will need to remove him. Okay. So Sheila, let's see. You're saying have you ended? I think you. Okay.
We'll see how it goes.
Okay. Okay. Let's see.
And look, I'd just like to take a minute now to thank the whole empath tarot reading astrology people who have been working on this now for a couple of years, and it is an amazing community too. So I think big arms around each other. Thank you guys. I think you've all been an inspiration to me. I know I can say that with a hand on the heart. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Yeah. Really, I mean, I have to
Queen Tarot, I know.
I have to say, it's been great to talk to. When you talk to Americans individually, you really realize, especially in this very, all our conversations are private, so people feel free to tell you things about their lives. It's just really amazing how incredible people are, how much they go through and they still come out being really good people, how much they go through and still are able to create a new community. And again, I don't care how old you are. I feel like older like to say is people don't like to argue with their mom. So it's always great that I see women out there because they are carrying forth the truth and they know how to handle people and they know how to be related without getting violent. So do not underestimate your contribution. I don't care how old you are.
Yeah, that's true. Just a note there, Indiana polls are about to close.
Okay.
And I must say, it appears CNN have no more information.
Yep, we're patiently waiting. Let's see.
Kentucky, what's happening in Kentucky? It has 8 electoral votes. We'll see.
Okay, let's see.
Kentucky is the evil Mitch, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I text banking a woman drove 10 hours to get home to Alabama to vote for Doug Jones and Joe Biden. She'd been exposed to so she couldn't fly. This is from Bridget. She's telling us about a lady who drove for 10 hours to vote because she could not fly because she had COVID. Wow. So, look, I'll tell you my experience of voting. I registered 4 times. I asked them to send me my ballot. Lena was getting on. She's like, David, it's been a month. It's a month away. And I'm like, come on, I'm going to take. Sure enough, no ballot arrived. Not one, nothing arrived.
Yeah, shocking.
I did it again and again and again. I tried to fax it. Well, nobody knows the extension number from a foreign country to fax it. So I tried that a couple of times. First time did not work at all. Second time somebody received it, never registered. Went to look at my, in California, you can go and you can find out if they got your vote. And they wound up giving me Martha, who lives in Germany. It was just shocking.
And didn't it have her mother's address?
It had her mom's address, and I'm wondering, wow, is my mom's address out there for somebody to fiddle with and change? It showed me how she had voted, and there was an edit button, so I could have changed her address if I wanted to. Now, as you do this, notice that Padilla is a Democrat, and he is in charge of controlling the voting. But also keep in mind that Congress requested more money to manage this, and the Republicans killed it. So it really was a concerted effort. My vote for Bernie Sanders did not arrive in time. I sent it 10 days in advance, and it did not get there. So it wasn't even postmarked in advance. Now, it turns out that it didn't matter because Biden had already been selected. But I've never had these kind of problems before. It does not take 10 days to mail a letter to California.
Well, it seems to take 10 days to get any snail mail anywhere these days. Everyone's starved the post office, and apart from the nefarious dealings of the Yeti and the others, with DeJoy in the post office. So it's like as we become more high tech on one level, we become less efficient on another. It's really crazy. Mm-hmm. Okay, let me interpret this.
Something's happening, guys.
Not much.
Okay, a little.
The most important issues, 34% said the economy. Now, that's interesting because it's normally 60, 70, 80.
Yeah.
Racial inequality, 21. Coronavirus, 18. What's up with that, America?
How bizarre. How strange is that?
I know.
Well, and
really?
I seem always to rely on other people. Another moderator, to help. Okay, well,
Liz,
if you guys,
someone said Liz would moderate.
Yeah, Liz, if
we're
you
not
want
sure
to.
of your full name, but if you want to be a joint moderator, that would be great.
Let's see. We just have to, let's see. That the cheater slowed down. Yes, yeah, that's right. Okay, I don't know why they blocked some stuff. I don't know why the cheater. And hi, Orange One. How are you? Nice to see you guys. Okay. A moderator gives me some help. Despite David, please make Lori Sue. Okay, I'm just going to look up for Lori. Moderator to help.
There's Lori Sue.
Do you see it? Where do you see her?
Oh, it's saying Lori Sue, moderator, but not her actual thing. If you go,
are we understanding correctly that you want to help out? Hi, RN SWAT. I know you got your new job. Sean Spicer voted for Trump. Well, that's not a surprise. Can moderate. Okay, great. I think I just need to see from Lori Sue. Right?
Sorry, just a little stat from Arizona. Biden, Trump, both on 48.
Jeez. Oh, right.
Both on 48. Oh, my God.
What a cliffhanger, you
Yeah.
guys. Let's see. Sue came up. Can you put on in timeout, please?
Wisconsin, they think there's more
Mhm.
Republicans voting in person
Yeah.
than Dems, so the
Mhm.
absent ballots are going to be really important.
Mhm.
And these crazy systems, like why aren't the ballots being counted now, the absent ballots? You know, maybe on the day, they should all start on the day of the election till it's finished or something. And I think Alaska does something weird, like they don't start counting till after Christmas or something.
Mhm.
I'm being second.
You in timeout? I don't think you said anything wrong. Sometimes it just kind of does it automatically. I think because of whatever, if you use the wrong word or something. So, for example, yeah, we're not allowed to have swearing here, so be a little bit careful about that. I'll tell you guys, if you ever do your own YouTube videos, avoid swearing because they will mark you and you'll get in a lot of trouble, right? If you just do a couple videos.
And I must say, I've done my best to not swear
Yeah.
over the last 2 years online, because for Australians, swearing is like talking. You know, we just grow up from birth. And if you look at some of my early videos, they're really stilted because I'm trying not to swear. But now I've sort of got used to it.
Yeah, so good. Let's see. Somebody else has been blocked. Confident in orange. See, I don't know. I wonder why they blocked that. I mean, you didn't swear. Tokes because he did not swear.
We get some feedback on the polling station experience too, please. Were there anyone watching the poll observers? Did you notice them? Were they fair? Were you getting the evil eye from somebody? Just let us know what your voting experience was.
Right. Yeah, and honestly, you guys, we have no problem with swearing. It's YouTube that cares about that a lot. And you can think about it. There are, maybe some young people who might watch, and I don't think it's a big deal, but some people might. Maybe you don't want to teach your kids every word. But somebody pointed out that they ran out of swear words during Trump.
You've exhausted your vocabulary of abuse.
Come to Australia. They have new words.
New words.
You can experience new words.
And I wonder what Google Translate does with some of these slang words, because really.
Yes, Salome, that is a swear word, which we cannot say. Thank you guys again for moderating. I just super appreciate it. So, what do we see? Anything
Nothing's
else?
going on CNN.
Nothing's going on CNN.
Can't believe this.
Well, and you guys feel free to put your notes out there if you have like a feeling where you're, in Arizona or something. If you have a feeling that things are happening, let us know what you think. Trump is a swear word. Anything wrong with that, Tokes? Fat is not a swear word. Let's see. You voted on Friday. Good for you, Teresa. Or sorry, that's not Teresa. At noon Friday, that was Swan. And it was in 18 minutes. Good for you, RN. Roberta, good to see you. Shreveport, LA broke records for early voting, but only voted one location. Yeah. Yeah, I can't show that one. I don't know what you want this. No, bum is not a problem. You can say that word.
Someone suggested MSNBC. I'll try that.
Let's try that. You voted 3 weeks ago. No problem. Good. So, and did you guys feel? Yeah, I love the idea of having the book Bewitched wants to have a protest spiritual circle with like minds. This is one thing that I hear constantly from clients is that they really, really want community right now. And it's really hard to do because you can't necessarily go out safely. A lot of people have, their own medical concerns. So as soon as this COVID's over, I really hope everybody will go out and create some spiritual community if you don't have one already. And if you do have one, full force, go. And I often feel like
true, and a lot of people who come to me for readings are saying that too. They've really slowed down in a good way because we all are on this treadmill of work and home and in between and trying to keep all the balls in the air. And all of a sudden, we're off the treadmill. And so it's kind of weird. It takes a bit of getting used to.
Yeah. So let's take a look. Oh, we can show that. Judith. I don't know why I'm saying you voted on the 19th, Judith, is blocked, but it is. Show. Okay. Ballot came in the mail. Torn. Okay, well, some other ones, and it sounds though you guys like at least it was peaceful. That was the that really lets me know a lot. I appreciate the fact that at least nothing's happening. I'm still worried. I'm still worried about what's going to happen after. So 538 Live. 538 Live is something that they've suggested. Abundant Places has suggested. Let's see. Feel free to report here, you guys. If you find some information out about Indiana or any other place, let me know. Hi, Lori Sue. Great to see you. I love the show you're watching, Lori Sue. That was really great. Tribe loves George's Moon. Georgie Moon, sorry. You gave me. Lena loved your reading. Harry Ben loved your reading.
Great.
Let's see. Yes, everybody, feel free to pray. Let's see. Here's a message from Celtic Taylor. Oh, well. Okay. You guys out there. So, again, positive. How much community have we already created online? That's not going away. And next month, we're going to keep going with our community here.
Absolutely.
It's marvelous. It's marvelous that this has been created in the way that it has. You know.
You haven't seen The Last of Us.
You haven't seen The Last of Us, and I hope you guys haven't seen The Last of each other. It's a lot harder these days to meet face to face, but making a little extra effort now, if you can Zoom some people and connect with them that way. It's a lot harder, but it's not impossible. The great thing about our work, though, is that I get to talk to so many people and talk to them about what goes on in their lives and their spirituality. And I just find that just to be so empowering. You really get to know people in a very special way when you're talking spiritually.
Yeah.
And
also to those of you who are the blue dots in a red sea, so you're in a red state.
San Francisco.
Just be confident that your numbers are growing.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, things are changing. Lots of you guys in California, and the sad thing is, it took me a month to vote, even though I know my vote doesn't make any difference because it's California. It's just going to be lumped in with a bunch of Californians, so it didn't really matter. So truly, it was a labor of love. I mean, I did it, even though I knew it wasn't just because I'm like, look, I'm going to go through this experience, and trust me, I really will talk to LA Times and whoever else will listen about how poor this was. It may be that my vote did not go through. Lots of blue waves.
A message that Cash Peters would be very happy if his pictures about Lindsey Graham were wrong because he saw Lindsay squeaking in as we did.
Yeah.
So
if it's 100% Republicans in the Senate or 100% Democrats in the Senate, I'm all good with that.
Yeah. That's
again,
right.
you guys, sorry about the connection. There are a few advantages to market capitalism.
Yeah, really.
not that many. Also, there's just not as many people to support the same systems.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
also, we are a huge country.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember years ago, Intrepid Viewers, driving 400 miles for a milkshake. That's how bored I was in that term.
Oh my gosh, I bet it was good.
It was the best milkshake ever. And we are a vast, vast, vast country. But you know what? We managed to run national elections that are identical in any part of the country. So it can.
Mm-hmm.
This is crazy, America, and time for a change. So let's see what's happening here. Jamie
Georgia.
Harrison, Arizona.
Yeah, this is a Georgia guy, right?
Yeah. We'll see.
Okay.
So some results should start to filter in soon, surely. Give us some stuff on Florida or New York. Florida's the same time zone as New York. Yes, people? I think so.
Let's see. Trump is leading in Indiana. Yeah, that's just not a surprise. Indiana's really an odd place in that I think
Sure it is.
the Ku Klux Klan started in Indiana, so it was rather ironic because a lot of people escaped slavery and they went to the north and they went to places like Indiana, but it didn't start in the South. The Ku Klux Klan actually started in Indiana, which is just such a strange thing. My parents were from Indiana, so I kind of know a bit more about it, but they were my grandparents could be quite conservative, to tell you the truth. Right. They had some pretty crazy ideas. Right. Let's see. Trump's a very nasty spreader. People who are going to Trump rallies are going to come down. Some of them are going to come down with this illness. And you know what? Even after the election, Trump's, I presume that he'll lose more voters because they're just going to die.
I'm sorry, Arizona, 53%.
Terrific. So, in terms of any newspaper, you'll see the most crazy headlines. Today's was not a word of Biden. Trump keeps pressing on, right? They'll never say anything negative about him. But nevertheless, most Australian people don't buy it. They just aren't interested in that kind of news, I presume.
I hope not. But also, why Murdoch is particularly evil is when he first met Trump and said, the man's an imbecile, why would I back this guy? He used slightly more colourful language. But Kushner went in, it'll be good for business.
Right.
The point being that Murdoch doesn't care. So he cut his teeth in the UK, destroying the north of England, breaking the back of the miners' strike. Dreadful creature, dreadful, dreadful creature. And his sons aren't much of an improvement. Well, the sons and daughters of these megalomaniac right-wing fascist bastards. Well, I don't care actually about my inheritance. I would rather have a life.
Yeah, well, I think that Trump Jr. did try that, and he went to work in a bar in Colorado, and essentially mom said, no more money if you work in that bar. And he's like, what, no money? And then he went right back home to New York. So
watches, please spare me.
Right.
Spare me the detail of the money. And they never do. They end up going in the same direction.
Yeah. Well, you've lived with money all your life. It's hard to go without it. It requires very special sort of inner intelligence, right? I think you have to go to the Amazon and meditate and become a shaman in order to actually do that and give up the money. Not literally, because a lot of people have,
Sorry, in Texas, over 9 million have voted now in the early vote.
Right, almost 10.
Wow. But the Republicans are leading, 53 to 36 in Texas. So let's hope it gets.
Going to go Democrat. So we might wind up at the end of today not really knowing anything, but I think we're going to know something. Right?
We'll know something, hopefully, but it could be weeks,
So
and then there'll be court challenges and all of that.
So somebody asked about Florida. Let me just do a check.
You check on Florida. I'm just having a bit of a pastry so I don't have a blood sugar crisis on camera.
Let's see. I got to say Florida's looking really close. I can't decide. I get a slight edge for Biden in Florida. But it's funny because there's like a blue corner and then a red corner and then a sliver right here in the middle. And right in that central space, that empty space there,
is where it'll be decided.
So
is the north of Florida the Panhandle sort of area? Is that right?
Right. No, I think the Panhandle is the south.
South.
I'm just guessing. I've only been there once. But yeah, it's funny because I do see. It's funny in my image. Yeah. Well, now they're switching in the colors around. Yeah, I think Florida's still very too close, even for Spirit to call. And I understand that also it's able to keep going and voting and not give up right now.
Yeah, that's really true.
Right. So, it's not necessarily the best to know everything beforehand, right? Well, let's see, what else we see here? Yeah, we're still looking at Indiana and at dates that matter. Often, frankly, the states that make
isn't it, of the whole thing? It's the blue states that subsidize the red states, but the red states feel that they're the ones doing it on their own. Small government, they're standing on their own two feet, And so a lot of the national myths, I think, have to be revisited because myths are emotional and they're stronger. Republicans always run it through the roof, but everybody, it's the same in Australia. Oh, the Conservatives are better with the economy. No, they're not. No, they're not.
It's never.
They are never better with the economy.
It's never true. And
but perception is everything.
Perception is everything. You notice in this election how little of it is actually about policy.
Yeah, there's no policy.
Nobody
not
could
even
tell
healthcare. There's nothing.
Nobody could tell you what policy.
Zippity doo dah.
They will also tell you silly things about employment figures. Well, unemployment is now at 8.5%. Trump inherited it at what, 4.7? So Obama did quite a great job going from, at some point it was 10 at the very beginning of Obama,
That's right.
and then it went down to 4.7. It was a brilliant job, and we consider 5% healthy. So, Trump has done no good for this economy. Large debts, he borrowed far more money than Obama did, and Obama had to. So,
And the other thing that's going to happen and slap people around the chops is when in 2017, I think, when they brought in the tax breaks for the rich and they put increased taxes on hold for normal people until next year. So in 2021, Trump's raising of taxes for normal people kicks in, and everyone will blame Biden because it's a health. They should waive us.
Explode at some point. I have loans that'll never pay off, right? So let's see, White House. So
He's not going to do it. Will they sedate him or will they fire him up? There's the question. What do people think?
Good question. Yeah, how will they get rid of him? Because we can be certain he's going to take a wrecking ball to a lot of stuff if he loses in the White House, right? So I wonder if we're stuck here. Yeah.
Hang on, try and reconnect.
Sorry, everything's freezing, you guys. Sorry about this.
Do we just wait?
I think we just
Hey,
okay,
are
here
we
we
back?
go.
Yay!
Okay, another moderator handling. Thanks so
Another
much.
technological
Good for
victory.
you, right? He was still our economy recovered. Yeah, it's true. Yeah, everything recovered under Obama, and he didn't have much help from the Senate. One great thing really will be the Senate will this time, I think, go Democrat, which means that move to Australia. If I were 20, I'd move to Australia.